Welcome to Fakin' It. I'm your party host, Cookie. You can put your coats on my bed, but stay out of my nightstand. Couple quick words before we jump into the game. And yes, you can skip it if you're in a rush. During each round of play, each of you is going to be sent a task to your device. Like, raise your hand if you've ever farted. But one of you will get nothing. And that person is the faker. Everyone wants to figure out who the faker is, and the faker just wants to blend in. When you hear the go sound, you either raise your hand or not, depending on whether you've ever farted before, which you have. And the faker just has to fake it. After that, everyone votes on their device who they think the faker is. If everyone picks the correct person, the faker is caught. But here's the most important part. Fakers, if you're caught in a lie, if you raise your hand when you really should have kept it down, lie, cheat, deny, come up with whatever story you have to throw other players off the scent. Be the faker. Some of the tasks will involve raising your hand, or pointing, or maybe making a weird face. But there will always be a faker, and you'll have 3 chances to catch him. Oh, one more quick suggestion before we get going. It's important to be able to see each other, so if possible, consider sitting in a semicircle or like small lines facing each other. Whatever works best while still feeling comfortable. Let's start with Hands of Truth. It's an easy one, just like we saw a minute ago. Everyone's going to get a task that involves raising your hand. Okay, sending the task to your devices now. And the task was, raise your hand if you've ever written an angry review on Yelp. Vote for who you think is probably the faker. You can change your vote if you change your mind, by the way. The faker can only be caught if the vote is unanimous, so do your best to come to a group consensus. One last chance to catch the faker. Sending your second Hands of Truth task to your devices now. And the task was, raise your hand if you can explain the infield fly rule. Vote for who you suspect is the faker. The votes singled out. Group mind steered you in the wrong direction. Okay, time to pick the next category. Use your device to choose which type of tasks you'll all be subjected to. It's going to be... You gotta point. Everyone's going to get a task that involves pointing at another player in the game. Okay, sending the task to your devices now. This was the task. Point at the person you think is the happiest in general. right, vote for who you think the faker is. Don't be afraid to talk or argue. It'll make you stronger. Everybody voted for the faker has been found. And what will our next task category be? Use your device to pick which type of task. Number pressure. Everyone's going to get a task that involves holding up a number of fingers, probably from 1 to 10. Okay, sending the task to your devices now. The task was, hold up as many fingers as years you think the American Civil War lasted. Vote for who you think seems like the faker. Don't forget you get points for voting for the faker even if everyone else is wrong. And everyone voted for that is indeed the faker. It's category picking time. Use your device to choose which type of tasks you'll all be subjected to. Hands of truth. Everyone's going to get a task that involves raising your hand. Okay, sending the task to your devices now. And the task, raise your hand if you own a king-size bed. Vote for the faker now. Everyone suspects you all got together and chose the wrong person. This is your last chance to catch the faker. Sending your second Hands of Truth task to your devices now. And the task was, raise your hand if you're wearing perfume or cologne today. Vote for who you suspect is the faker. You couldn't even bother to try to pick the same person on the final task, huh? You pretty much just let the faker have it. Alright, what category do we want to do next? Use your device to pick which type of tasks you'll all do together. Face value. Everyone's going to get a task that involves making some kind of facial expression. Maybe a weird one. Okay, sending the task to your devices now. This was the task. Make the face you'd have if you suddenly heard some smooth jazz. Vote for who you think seems like the faker. All the votes went to... Collectively, you all made the wrong choice. Last chance to catch the faker. Sending out your second face value task to your devices now. The task was, make the face you'd make in a hot tub. Vote for who you think is probably the faker. Wow, even on the last task, you couldn't vote together to find the faker. Yeah, it's almost like you gave up. Okay, it's time for the last round. Text you up. I've sent 2 questions to each of your devices. Type in your answers for both and then hit send. Now, the faker has 2 questions to answer as well. They just have slightly different questions than everyone else. So good luck, faker. Let's see everyone's answers to the first text task. A celebrity you don't like very much. Alright, vote for who you think the faker is. the votes were for... You found the faker.